You're listening to the Home Improvement Report Podcast 2.0, and this is episode number 33. And I'm talking about a new business paradigm. Hi, I'm your host, Gary Neidert, and I want to welcome you to the Home Improvement Report Podcast. This is where I talk about some of the latest home improvement ideas, products, and more. Some episodes, I'll talk about new trends that homeowners should be looking out for. Plus, I'll talk about issues that affect companies selling products and services to homeowners. Also, as I have the opportunity to, I'll interview successful home improvement professionals to find out what they offer to homeowners. Well, a new business paradigm. The time of this podcast is March 18th, 2020. And I'm doing a reboot for the Home Improvement Report podcast. The last episode was released in July of last year. Life was changing, and I was not able to devote the mental bandwidth to making any more episodes happen at that time. For several months, I've sensed business was changing. How we were going to do business was changing, but I had no idea what that was. I just knew there was a change coming. Well, here we are in the midst of the change. During this past weekend, events and businesses began to shut down. Pastors preached to empty auditoriums while live streaming videos to members. Events and gatherings of 50 people were shut down. And as of today, I think it's gatherings of 10 people or more are shut down. You can have 10 people at an event. That's it. Maybe you've heard this before, but we're faced with a decision. We can panic, or we can push through the fear and to continue with business in hand, even if it's really tough. Have you set aside time to think about what you can do different in your approach to selling products and services? Maybe it's time. As we've seen, things have changed dramatically. There, a new word, dramatically and drastically. Put them together and you get dramatically. And I've just created a new word. How about that? A couple of weeks ago, my wife produces a state festival, a music festival in South Texas. And it's held every year in May at a university in South Texas. But she's been doing that for 26 years, 7, I don't know. And this will be the 45th annual event for that music festival. Before all the stuff started coming up about we got to shut things down, we got to close businesses down, we got to shut events down, the weekend before all that started coming about, she started looking at how to do things differently for her event because there were several thousand people that would be there. And we're talking thousands, and it'd be all enclosed in the little narrow hallways of this building. And that was just not a good idea. So my wife and her team put their heads together and decided to do this event digitally. They thought outside the box. My wife is not big on the digital or the video stuff, but this is something that she saw that would work for this event, that would serve the students that participate. So anyway, that's what they're doing. But the point of this is she had to think outside of the box, she and her team. And they've been scrambling like mad to make this happen. She's even right now, she's working on this, putting all the pieces together to make the event happen. Thinking outside the box. Well, she was using digital tools in a new way. Well, my question for you is, how can you use digital tools in a new way to get leads, set appointments, and even sell? What we're going through right now, events, schools, businesses, and more shutting down, will change in a few weeks. Life will go back to normal, whatever normal is, and it'll probably be a new normal. But are you going to go back to business as usual? Are you going to try to do something different to carry you through right now and then keep using that out of the box thinking for the future? Well, if you don't, most likely your competitors will. I've got a couple of stories I want to talk about. I spoke with someone earlier this week about a remodeling company, home improvement company. The customers of this company would not let them in their house. They didn't want to risk getting the virus, which I can't say that I blame them. But that really made it difficult on the home improvement company. I mean, they have to get in, supposedly, to talk to the homeowner, to take measurements in the home and do all that kind of stuff. Well, they came up with another way to do it, which I think is going to work for them. Is it the most efficient way? Well, not necessarily. Is it the way they can do it now? Yes, it is. And you know what? It may turn out to be a better way of doing it in the future, even after all this crazy stuff has gone away and we're back to our normal, our new normal. So stuff is changing, but we have to change. And I know you can do it. There's ways to think about doing things differently. Hey, everybody's got that little creative thing inside of them, whether you've got it in you, whether you realize it or not. So just be thinking, the question is not, can I really do this? But the question is, how can I do this? I'll give you a good example. Go to other industries and find out what they're doing during this time of businesses shut down, doing things differently and all that. Go to other industries to find out what they're doing and how they're doing to continue on with business. Not just sitting back and saying, nobody's going to buy, work at. No. Look at it and ask the question. Look at those industries. Look at what they're doing to market their business and find out something that sparks your interest and then say, how can I do it for my business? How can I apply what's working for them into my business? Even if it's so different, it's not even funny. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of different scenarios running through my mind about doing things differently. But ask that question, how can I do it? How can I apply it to my business? I talked with the building manager at Dallas Market Hall earlier today. He was talking about all the events that have changed the timing over. They've moved their events over starting in June and going to the end of the year. And so for March, April, May, Market Hall most likely is going to be shut down. I mean, they have to do maintenance stuff, things like that, but it's not likely they're going to have any events in there. So from June to the end of this year, they've just taken everything in that time frame and shifted it to the end of the year. That makes them very, very busy. And as we were talking, we agreed that there's going to be a pent-up demand that takes place after all this settles down. And I think I think in June we'll start seeing things loosen up, business come back to normal. And he and I agreed. He and I agreed that after that point, things are going to level out. And when it does, it's going to, I think the pent up demand is going to hit us and we're going to stay really busy. For instance, I was talking with my wife earlier today. We really can't go to a restaurant to go out to eat. I mean, we can go pick it up at the takeout, and that's all well and good, but there's a couple of restaurants we like to go to and go inside. Well, when all this lifts and it's over, we're going, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch of people going to go. So the point of all that is, don't panic. It's a new paradigm in the way that we do business. And embrace that new paradigm. Embrace it, because things have changed and we're not going to go back to the old normal. We're going to have a new normal. Embrace the technology that's available to us. What about all these people that are now working from home? They're working remotely. I've been doing that since 1996, and it's been one of the best things that ever happened to me in terms of the way I worked. My productivity shot through the roof as soon as I started doing that, and I had a little bit more flexibility, and I was still able to be productive. So if you have questions about what to do to set up a remote office with any of your employees or you yourself, I'll be glad to answer any kind of questions you might have. And I'll share what I have for my setup, and I use technology as much as I can to make things happen. So anyway, that's my rant for the day. Be on the lookout for some more episodes coming up soon, because this is the reboot. And what's coming up next? Well, I'm constantly searching for new information in the home improvement industry that consumers and contractors both will enjoy. Also, I'm working on lining up some fantastic guests that I know you'll get some great insight from. Be sure to check back to find out who and what's coming up. Now, you probably know someone that would be a great guest for the Home Improvement Report, right? Let me know a little bit about them and their story. I'm always looking for great stories of business successes. The story behind the story. We have something new with the podcast. Like I said, it's a reboot, and there's a lot of new things coming up. We have a sponsor. Our sponsor is yes, it is. Our sponsor is masterworkmarketing.com. But we'll talk about Masterwork Marketing in just a minute. Now go to thehomeimprovementreport.com and subscribe to the show. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, and more. Check it out. Subscribe to the podcast and listen to the previous episodes of the Home Improvement Report. Now, let's talk about our sponsor, my sponsor. Have you ever struggled to find the right marketing tool, a promotional product, to imprint your sales message on the minds of your prospects? Whether you're looking for giveaway items for a trade show, and most likely those are not going to happen for a couple of 3 months, but that's okay. Like I said, this will come back around and we'll get busy again. So items for a trade show, t-shirts or more, you need to check out masterworkmarketing.com. We will help guide you and help you get what you need to make the most impact with your prospect. Go to masterworkmarketing.com for more information, or you can call 972-771-7899. Contact me if you have any questions regarding today's podcast, or you'd like information on masterworkmarketing.com. I'm Gary Neidert, and you've just experienced the Home Improvement Report. Call me, 972-771-7899. Thanks for listening.